My course is Expert Business Computing. This is expert level Microsoft skills. So if you're familiar with a lot of the UH system, most students start off with Business 101 or known as ICS 101, depending on your campus, which is your beginner level basic Microsoft skills. We have an intermediate Business 202, and this is the third level, the expert level of these Microsoft applications, preparing them for the Office user certifications, or one of many if they choose to partake in that. So it was a little bit of a challenge to think of a project to incorporate these skills and make it real world based, because a lot of these are skill based things where they will use them in little pockets, but to kind of bring them all together into one project is what I did for this AOL project. So I gave them a scenario here. So the scenario, or the problem is that they are put into groups and they are asked to do research on a different age group. So you could choose your age group like 13 to 18, 19, 24, or whatever they want to specify, that they want to learn more about their internet usage. And what they'll do is, in groups, they'll create a survey. They will implement the survey, analyze the results, and present the results using the skills taught in the class. So the first level skill would be in Microsoft Word would be designing online templates, using templates, protecting your document, drop-down boxes, so that they could implement a survey using Microsoft Word. And that's part of the skill set that they learn as part of the content of the course. All right, and then after that, the second part would be to analyze this data using pivot tables and variety of chart functions of Excel that are taught in the course. And the third part would be to present their findings in a Microsoft PowerPoint video. So which includes your PowerPoint video, and it's a voiceover narration PowerPoint, which is also part of the content for that PowerPoint chapter. So, well, if you click on the facilitator's guide and you download this one here, it kind of gives you a more detail about what they will do. And it's kind of a wordy document to show here, but what they will do at different steps. So they'll be put into groups and they'll be asked to analyze or to figure out what goes into a survey first. So this is not a marketing class, so they're not really learning a lot of the marketing things, but I wanted them to have some basis of what an effective survey is. So the first individual project is to conduct this research prior to even engaging in developing any kind of survey, just to make it more real-world based, but not so intense as you would have in a marketing course, as it's only the first introduction to the project. Right, from there, they will get into groups and they will share and collaborate with each other on discussion forums on what their findings were. And in their groups, decide on what age group they want to focus on, and then develop a survey based on their findings. And then so after creating their survey, before they're implementing it, they have more collaboration in which they share their survey, as a group, they share their survey with their class and ask for feedback. And in marketing, sometimes you have to figure out what kind of information that you want to find out as you develop your questions. And I really want them to focus on, is that type of information something that you were to show using the Excel tools that you've learned in class? So there's a balance between using the tools and doing the survey. Right, so they collaborate multiple times within the groups and then between groups also. And then they're asked to implement the survey to 20. And get 20 responses from their target market, whichever age group they're looking at. And then compile those using Microsoft Excel and putting it into a PowerPoint video and presenting that video to the course. And throughout the process here in terms of how they implemented the survey, what their feedback was, there's discussions and feedback at multiple stages in each part. And then in the last part here, they will reflect on what worked well, what they would do different, how did the group interact, and if you actually look at my discussion, I got this idea from one of these workshops here, and this was later in the year. I think this was maybe it was a couple months ago, about how to put people into groups, and one of the suggestions were to have a personality test. So they do a short personality test, and then they figure out the specific one that I got, and I was planning to use next spring when I teach this again, is a test that determines what kind of person they are, and it categorizes them as the lion, the otter, the golden retriever, or the beaver. And then based on their findings, I would group them based on the personality types to see if that dynamic worked better than just randomly grouping them or assigning them, you know, the first three, next three, and so on. So trying to get the group dynamic and collaboration to work better in an online course so that multiple phases they can agree on things, or hopefully they work better with each other. You can't have 4 lions in one group or 4 otters in one group. So to kind of mix the personalities to find a good balance between what works, especially in an online environment. And sometimes in the classroom you see that happens already, but in an online environment it's harder to see somebody's personality if you don't physically see them in class. So that's my project. And this project is, if you look at the timeline, it's scheduled out over the semesters. After the first 4 weeks, they'll start doing different parts of the project. So, and it follows a sequence on which they learn the skills also. So Microsoft Word is one of the first ones we cover, followed by Excel, then PowerPoint. So that as they're learning the skills throughout the course, they're moving to the next step in the project in which they'll use those skills.